Okay, this is what I was able to come up with just kind of messing around, doing what I thought made sense as a cursory program. So for now, I just have this simulate signal, right, which will get replaced by the DAC assistant going into our statistics. And I actually found this cool thing called cursors that you can do specifically on an XY graph and not a chart. But so when you have an XY graph, you can click in here and you go to properties, and there's this thing called cursors. And here I just added a bunch and then named them, right? So like I could add one more and call it cursor 4 and say like show name. So there it is. And we'll give it, I don't know, we'll make this one green. And we want it to be free dragging. Okay. And then when you add those on there, I found that they're kind of hard to grab. So you kind of, I like to do it preemptively. So you grab that little thumb thing. And then there we go. There's that fourth cursor that I made with that number 4 on it. Pretty cool. And so now, because this is an XY graph, you have to build an array of data, X and Y data. And so there's an easy to use Express Graph Sub VI. So I right clicked over here, graph, and then it's this Express XY graph. And when you do that, that gives you these options for XY. And when you double click on this, you want to make sure this is unchecked. You don't want to clear the data on each call. We want it to just build all of this data. And now, and so I still have this all like in a for loop, right? You can, or a while loop rather, right? There it is, my stop button. But to get it as elapsed time instead of just I lost my train of thought. To get it into time instead of like the clock, the computer clock, right? There's another cool Express sub VI. So I right click over here, Express. Where was that thing? Oh, wait a second. How did I find it? There it is. So under exec control, elapsed time. And I didn't really, there's a whole bunch of stuff to mess around with right here. So I just pulled it way up to like 1,000 seconds. Um, and so that's something that you would want to make sure that you put in there because it does say that it's going to reset after time target. So maybe we could even uncheck that if you wanted to. I'm going to leave it checked for now just because that's how I've been testing it. And all I did was say elapsed time. I sent it to a numeric control, which you can see is right there, and into the X input. And then now I'm taking the RMS, the root mean square of the signal, and there's the oh wait, that's not the numeric value of RMS. That's before it gets processed. So let's fix that really quick. Okay. So RMS, and we'll also send that into the numeric value. Okay, so now this is ready to roll. Like I said, these cursors can be tricky. You want to grab that thumb thing, and they're tricky because you notice like if you accidentally grab the 1, you just move that. But if you grab, at the cursor, it moves the label with it. So let's run this thing. So like I said, I got the signal simulator going on. So we'll push play. So every time you push play with this elapsed time, it's always going to start at 1 second or 0 or 1. I can't remember where it starts. But so here you go. We can see like in real time the absorbances and the times. So this is simulating some noise. So like I could turn the noise down a little bit and I bet we would see that number go down. Yep. And so now like suppose we have a peak that's about to elute. So I'll simulate that. Whoop, there we go. Okay, so then we got a peak come off. And now I don't have any like automatic peak finder or whatever, but manually now, this is pretty slick. We can drag this over and drop it right on that peak. And now you can see my cursor number 1, 32.47 seconds. And I could, of course, like play with that, right there at an absorbance of 0.815. And let's suppose I have another peak come off. Okay. Oh, there we go. Sweet. Nice sharp peaks. And so if you're getting nice sharp peaks, maybe this peak Height is fine. And certainly, we could probably keep refining this. I'm going to move the number 3 and 4 out of the way. Perhaps this could keep getting refined to actually do an area. But I imagine as you're like running an experiment, this is pretty informative, right? Now you've got all these peaks right here. Let's suppose we get like one nasty slow thing coming off. Um, which maybe then you can say like, oh wait, it's not all the way out of there yet. Okay, now it's going. So a peak like this, maybe you would want to know the peak area, certainly, but at least as far as like your initial diagnostic, you got it right there in the chart. So I didn't put any kind of like save export the data, but in principle, we should just be able to take the XY data and send it directly into a file saver like you've done before. Okay, see if this is useful for you. And I'll share this file with you so you can build off of it if you like.